Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where I want to be done with the water in these areas. Now this is re-flooded over here, and I took a little bit of time and added some additional walling over here, and I would like to work on the actual water level overall, but right now I want to just increase this a little bit, about like so, just to make sure that that's not going to be coming through here. And I want to get rid of the water over here quickly before it goes anywhere else. So we're just going to get rid of these areas real quick. Anything that is out over here that is currently affected by that water, we're getting rid of it just immediately. And then we're going to deal with that water. So we're going to get rid of all of this area here. This is a very small area being affected right now. I just don't want this to spread at this moment. That is the current goal. So we're going to prevent the spread of this water. I'm wondering, are we actually affected by water here? We are, but only a little bit. Okay. So for now, that will do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this here, and we're going to grab our level terrain tool. About this height here. That'll be fine. We'll bring this up to size 100 and just fill in this entire area. There we go. That'll do for now. We'll need to let the water tick, but we'll just leave that be for the moment. Okay, now for over here. We're going to do largely the same thing. So I'm just going to get rid of all of these structures. The roads that are over here are going to have to go away, including King Street here. So these guys are going to have to go. Any structures affected by it are also going to have to go. But these are going to be, this is going to be, I think, a relatively small area here. I can see that there's some water here. So we'll get rid of those roads for now. I'm not going to get rid of these structures though. So just these roads, these structures are currently slightly underwater. So we'll get rid of all of that. Checking in over here, I believe I rebuilt this previously as a test bed and discovered that that would be absolutely fine. So these sections of road are going to go away. These structures. And we're just going to rebuild these small areas. I just don't want to have to do a large rebuilding project, right? That's the overall goal here. So I'm going to get rid of out to here and just do something kind of like this. So all of this is just designed to get rid of the water that currently exists here and any additional water. So that pretty much means that this area over here is going to need to also be done. The question is, where is the actual boundary here? And it appears to be approximately here. So I'm going to get rid of all of that. This park, I'm going to relocate, although it's going to need to be rebuilt. And then I'm going to relocate that to be like out over here for the time being. That'll be fine. Okay. And then we're going to get rid of this on-off ramp section. We'll have to rebuild that. The highway I'm going to leave for the moment. We're just going to get rid of these sections of road. And this is all like flowing down this direction, right? So at this point, I'm going to say anything that is on this side of this highway. We have a park here, which I'd like to relocate to the other side of this street. So these structures are going to have to go here. I think we're okay up over here. I don't think there's any significant issues here at this moment. So that'll do for right now. The question is, are we okay here? Well, those are going to have to go, for sure. That's definitely going to have to be removed. I think these sections of road go away, and maybe these little bits of housing here. The question then becomes, how far does this water go over? About here? Okay. So we'll just need to get rid of something about like this. This park can be relocated temporarily to be out over here. We can put it back later if we feel like it, but we may not feel like it. So these sections of road I'm going to remove. Get rid of everything in here for right now, and this will all get rebuilt relatively quickly. We'll just take this up to about here. Okay, And then we're going to do terraformation to fix the rest of this. Cool. So that gives us these couple of areas. The next thing that I want to do is grab the level terrain tool. We're going to level this to about this height that is here. And we're just going to fill in all of this water. And yes, I know that the highway here is likely going to be an issue. I'm actually going to rebuild this section of highway. So that'll be fine for now. We'll get that all filled in for the moment. And then down over here, I want to make sure to get this all filled in as well. So everything down over here that had water in it. About like this. Okay, and then we'll get that smoothed out once we have water ticks ongoing. So that'll be fine for the moment. That should get those areas nice and dry. And yes, we do have a little bit of flooding over here. I actually do not care about that. So that's absolutely a-okay. For the moment, I do want to take the highways out here, because I want to make sure that they are a little bit less likely to be holding water there. So that'll be okay. I want to use curve tool here and bring this guy out to be about here or so. It's probably not going to be perfect, but that is reasonably fine. Okay, and then this guy would end up being about...
Has anyone seen my keys?
Like that.
My keys. What?
Okay, we'll tick it forward a little bit and get some water ticks.
Sorry about that. It's nothing.
We'll just let that water settle in. This
sure
down
that,
over here, we can keep an eye on, but I'm just
Brown's
going to
dad
bump up our
lives
speed.
outside the radio station. Oh, wait. I probably shouldn't have said that if anyone.
I'm not
finds
too...
me.
Well,
Please.
actually, this is a little concerning
Steal
right
my
here.
Car. I mean, the old
Okay,
Hornbuckle mobile,
so
please.
this section of highway is dipping down
Yeah,
too low.
well,
I'm going to
never
take
mind
that out of there for the time being. We're going to
listening to
build that out here. I'm wondering if it's dipping down to go underneath here. Probably is the answer. Yeah, that's what it was doing. Okay, that is definitely noted. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to take this section of highway temporarily out. About like that. I will need to bring this guy right on in. That is going to be about here to about here. That's reporting as in water, specifically out over here. Okay, so we'll need to take that out. And is that water right there? Okay, that seems to have immediately gone away on tick, so that should be fine. Let's try extending this again. So that would be about from here to here or so. That's reporting as in water here. Okay. That is indeed. So let's just terraform this out. So we're just going to grab this height and just push that down like that. We'll let the water update a bit. Okay. And then let's re-extend this guy. So that's going to be coming out over to about here or so. Reporting as in water right over here still. I want this to come in about here. So the question is, when is this no longer going to report as in water? Well, we could definitely just push this out a little bit further here and see if that does the trick. We'll want to clean that up later, but for right now, we'll see if that ends up working. No, that's still reporting as in water right here. Okay, so what if we were to simply, I did not necessarily want to have it go there, but what if we were to just bring it in like this now? Yeah, that's still reporting as in water right here. I think we're just going to have to let this sit for a bit, unfortunately. So this stuff out over here, what I want to do right now is I want to specifically smooth out this area to be something kind of like this. Okay. And then we can think about trying to smooth out this area here. I don't really like the fact that they just carved into this hill to build this. Please don't. That is not ideal at all. Stop it. Let's unzone this. No zoning allowed here. Okay. There we go. Stop building there. So that'll do for now. This, of course, I don't actually want it to be turned like this. That was a mistake. So I want this guy to come back out over this direction and have it be turned more along the lines of this. This is basically exactly where I want this to build. This in water up here is definitely irritating. No doubt about that. We could bring this up to be here, though. That's still showing up as in water there. Uh-huh. Why is this in water? I mean, yeah, it's going to be a bridge, but this should not be showing up as in water, to be honest. Because it's angling really far down? Perhaps? Interesting. I mean, we could do a 2-lane highway, 1-way suspension bridge here, right? That is a theoretical option. So if we were to do that, that report says in water as well. I mean, it's a bridge. Bridges are supposed to be in water. Yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, that's all just reporting as in water right over here. So clearly we still have a water issue here. Now, as far as this highway goes, not having a connection here is, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not great. And we definitely do want to have this solved. So what I want to do here, though, is I want to fix this area. So I want to have a level terrain tool, and we're just going to level this out over here, just so that we've got a bit of an embankment over on this side. So we're just going to add in a little bit of extra leeway there, and we'll just soften it out over on this side. There we go. Okay, so that will get rid of that problem for the moment. Now, what are we going to do about this problem? Honestly, I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it, except just find a way where the game lets us do it. That's going to be it, I think. And the question is, how much terraformation will that require? Maybe a fair amount. If we were to just push this way out here, like that. We'll wait for the water tick to update. Surely it has by now, right? There it goes. Okay. Cool. So there's a water tick update. And from here, I would want to bring this guy out to be somewhere over here. Now it's showing up as in water here. Well, yeah, I want you to be a bridge. That's how bridges work. They're built in water. Okay, so it really doesn't like what we have going on here. Like, it really doesn't like it. Maybe it's too much of a cliff. Maybe what we need to do is we need to use the slope terrain tool and have this just slope itself down like that. And ultimately, we're going to want to have something along those lines on this shoreline anyway, right? This is going to create some water issues, so let's let that settle in. And let's see what that ends up doing. Okay, that looks good. That's about what we want the water to be doing there. So from here, I want to extend this guy out, and maybe this will let us build it. So I would want this to go about here, and then connect in here. Okay, there we go. Now we're able to build that. Perfect. So now I want to take this highway and just connect it here. That's giving us overlapping items, which isn't shocking. But if we wanted to connect this here, I'm wondering what the actual height is. Okay. Let's take this down to the smallest height step And I want to bump this up to like 12.5 meters. And then bring this out exactly only on the angle. Dropping a pillar here. And then looking to connect it here. That would be the ideal. Is this too low still? This might still be a little too low. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Let's bump this up a little bit. So I think we're going to have to take this back. Connect it in over here, which, what height is this? 6.25? I mean, this is definitely going to have to come up in height, right? But that's fine. I want to snap this only to angle. If we were to put this here, that's acceptable. Okay, do it. And then take it back down to 10. And just do like that. Now, I don't really love this slope that we have here. So I'm going to take that out of here, and I'm going to reconnect this using the straight line tool back into here. So now let's make sure this is a correct angle. Snap only to angle. And this is not the correct height, but that's understood. Okay, this would be approximately the correct height. There we go. Let's bring this back up to full elevation snap. Okay, that should fix that problem. Perfect. Now I want to come up over here and see what we've got going on here. Ooh. We have some water here pooled. That shouldn't be the case. And we have some water here pooled as well. I'll grab this height, and we'll cover that water. And then grab this height and cover this water. But yeah, that absolutely should not be the case there. We should not have water in those locations. So we'll let that sit for a bit, and then we'll look at getting these roads rebuilt there. That'll be fine. This area out over here looks nice and dry. We do see that there's a traffic jam here. Indeed. We should definitely deal with the left turns here. No left turn allowed here. No left turn allowed here. Just get going. So I think that this is likely happening because this highway was out for a while. That's my current going theory. And it'll take some time for this traffic to work its way through. But just changing those left turns will likely make a pretty significant boost to the throughput of this traffic. But I'm pretty sure that it's because they were trying to route around this. So I'm not too concerned about that. That and the other roads being out in this area, right? So that should be reasonably fine. I do want to work on building these roads back. So let's bring this down to snap only. Really, an overlapping item there. Okay. So this is going to have to get removed then, temporarily. And we would bring this guy in down this way, straight on down to here. There we go. And this is unsurprising with this terrain here. So what I want to do is I want to use the slope terrain tool. I want to grab this height, and we just want to slope this terrain right on down here. This is going to be a pretty steep slope, no doubt about it. We'll just do something like that, and then we'll soften out all of this terrain out over here. Something like that. And then I'd like to see about rebuilding this section of road. So specifically, I want to grab the slope terrain tool here and just slope that right on down. Then soften that out a little bit on these edges. There we go. Then we bring this guy straight on down, only on that angle.
This has been
like
a
that.
local public service announcement.
Okay, now we can rebuild this section of highway and just make sure that the pillars aren't in the wrong place.
Consider installing a low flush toilet. Cut back on water
Okay.
in the lawn.
I don't know what's going on with this height here, but This is
has been a
very,
local
very low.
public service announcement.
We should probably consider elevating this roundabout, to be honest. So I'm going to knock back these sections of highway a little bit. This is because we've added height to this area, right? So that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to grab from here, snap only to angle, and then we would reconnect this here, but I want to make sure that this is at 10 meters. So we would bring this in over here like so, and then we'd do the same thing over here. Now, pillars might be an issue here. In fact, they probably will be. But we can bring this in exclusively to be... What is this height trying to do here? I'm not sure what this height is trying to do here.
Yes, indeed. That must be most
Okay, right about there. And then this one can come in over here like that. That'll do for now. Did that really help anything? I'm not convinced it did. Yeah, we're going to have some pretty major issues along here.
Let's hear another one of those soulful.
Okay, we're going to have to take this out for sure.
That's right, Clever. But apparently that's not all good
Like
news.
that.
We're joined today by an
And we're going to have to build the roads first. That's not
Welcome,
surprising,
Professor.
all things
So a
considered.
housing
So we're just
shortage
going
is
to
bad,
bring
but we're
this
trying
guy
to
down
move
to about
on.
here.
Humans are
There we go.
programmed
And
to
then
desire
this
certain
one
representations with
should
an
do.
ideological reward structure,
And this
which are
one.
entirely apart
There we go.
from the
Okay,
actual
so we're going to
rewards
need to
it
continue to
provides.
extend these roads,
Then
of course,
comes
wherever
the academy.
possible.
Right,
This
and
road
final
will have to get
question,
rebuilt
Professor. Is
along
the
here.
housing shortage going to make
Awkwardness
me
will
richer?
ensue here, but
I
that's
sort of
fine.
metrics
We can
perhaps
just take this guy
yes
up
in
over
the
here
short
and
term.
get this
like the sound of
curve
that.
But what we are discussing is the study of a statistical abstraction.
out over here. I want
and
this to
its
be pretty
effect
straight,
on
though,
the
for now.
Thank you,
So to about
Professor.
here,
It is a
and
question
then
of
I want it to curve around over this way.
And on to our main feature
And then
story.
ultimately, I'd
The
like
commercial
for it to
district
come
is
under
booming,
here and just
as the
connect over
area
here.
is
But
attracting
I don't
more
think that's going to
high-end
end up
stores,
happening. I think
bringing
our
the
best
latest
bet
in
would be to
luxury
bring
our
this guy
neighborhood.
up
You
and
can
in
now shop her
here.
designer shoes while sipping a fancy local
Okay,
Charlotte
and
mocktail.
that's going to
Or
be a
so
bit
my wife
awkward on
tells
the
me.
terrain.
That's
Noted.
good for business and good for the community.
So we're probably going to
Thanks,
want
Jim.
to level
Look at
out
that
this
now.
terrain over here. So I'm going to grab this height, and we're going to level this to be about like that. I'm a little concerned about what we've got going on here. I'm going to take this down and fill that in. But there we go. That'll do for now. Then I want to bring this guy up and in, as before. And then I want to bring this kind of out over this way. We could position it here. And then have it come around like so. That's a very sharp corner there. Around like so. It is definitely an exceptionally sharp corner. Now, I want to start smoothing out some of the terrain out over here. So we'll just bump this back up to size 100. There we go. And we'll just soften out some of this nonsense. Because that will eventually need to happen. And some of this up here can be softened, I'm sure, too. There we go. And we'll just need to get this whole area rebuilt. But that really shouldn't be too bad once we get these couple of roads done. I'm just really not happy with what we've got here. So let's get that out of there for now, and let's bring this guy in again. Can we use the complex curve tool to then kind of snake this around over here? That would be ideal, but I don't think that's going to end up happening at that position. However, at this position, it absolutely can. And then we can bring this in somewhere over about here. It's okay. It's not great. And then we would bring this guy in here. I want to be in straight line curve or straight line tool mode at this point. And then this guy would come in here like that. You would come straight on down here. There we go. And then beyond that, that's pretty much all of the roads that we need for this side. Now, we don't have our footpath that goes underneath here. We might be able to squeak one through, like, here. We could take a look at that, actually. So, let's see here. Pedestrian street. So that would end up being, like, here. Yeah, there's really not enough space there. So these are going to need to be slightly elevated here. That's unsurprising. We knew that that would likely end up being the case. So I'm going to knock this back. I'm not going to take it any further than that, but somewhere around here. Now what I want to do is I want to take the pedestrian street and I want to connect that to be about, and I'd like it to be connected from up here, right? So I'd like that to be about here. And I'm going to do a second pedestrian street here as well. So one about there. We're probably going to knock that back a little bit, but that will do for the time being. Now, curve tool. And we're going to need to have this thing go up and over, right? So that's currently relatively fine there. So then we would bring this guy in kind of like that. And then this one could come in over here eventually. So it would need to come kind of like... We would need to put it up over here. So we need a pillar here. Okay. And then it would go in like that. I guess that's okay. So that'll do for now. And then we're going to need our road on this side. So that comes out over here in curve tool and would just kind of... Actually, I want complex curve tool here. And we're just going to bring that out over here into about... here or so, and then this is going to want to start curving over after it hits this point. So we're going to just bring this over this direction, and it would connect in right up over here, about like that. Okay, so that'll do. From here, we can bring this road over to be here, kind of awkwardly, but nevertheless, it can go there. This road would come out over this direction in angle snap mode to be about here. Looks good. Nice and straight. Then we would have this guy come out over this direction. Once again in angle snap mode. Right like that. Fantastic. From here, these are relatively short and would end up lining up, so we can bring that in here. This is going to come in about here. Yeah, there is a road there. Okay, I just wanted to double check that. That all looks fine. And we would need to bring this road northward, which would end up being right there. That should be all of the roads in this area other than the highways. And the highways should be relatively simple to push through here. So let's just get that done very, very quickly. So that would mean a highway, and I want this in straight line tool. Right here, right here. Right here, right here, and right here. Okay? And then we would have the same thing from here. About like that. Drop our roundabout here. There we go. And then all we would need is our on-off ramps over here. So over on this side, we would put an on-ramp if we can fit one. I see there's a park under there. We might not be able to get an on-ramp through here. We'll see. Yeah, I think we're going to need to move that park. I'm not shocked about that one. We can just move that off over here. That's absolutely fine. An on-ramp would go right about here. There we go. We don't need an off-ramp here. Well, maybe we can fit one in. We can try. Yeah, we can fit one in there. That'll do. Okay, and then over here, we would, of course, need... I can see there's a slight kink to this highway, but I'm not too concerned about that. It's very slightly bent. So that's okay for now. No left turn here, no left turn here, and, of course, I didn't do those over here, so no left turns there if we've got them. Beyond that, we're going to need an on-off ramp right over here, so that would be one right about here. That is not curve tool. Or actually, it was curve tool. It just didn't actually curve. Interesting. Well, we'll just put that right on over here. No left turns here or here. That'll do for now. And then we would need one right up over here. And then I believe that's all of our road work done for this area, which is absolutely great, of course. So we just hop up over here. No left turn here. No left turn here. Okay. So that looks absolutely okay. No problems. There is one. We are lacking a little bit of road work over here. So that would end up meaning that we are lacking a road here going down this direction, right? So that would connect ultimately here. I'm kind of okay with it terminating here and having the park there. Yeah, I think that's reasonably fine. So that should be okay. This whole area over here should be zoned with row housing. So we'll just get all of that zoned up for the time being. This over here should all be zoned with low density housing. I'm just going to do this, but that's going to create a huge mess. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the bucket select tool. Okay, low density housing in all of these areas. That does mean I think some of this might be incorrectly zoned, but okay, let's use the marquee select tool at this point. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. Like this. Okay, and then everything up over here should be reasonably fine to be zoned this way. There's a lot of zoning that we don't want to do that is like river zoning, so we'll be avoiding zoning inside of the river here. There. That should do for now. So that'll get this area dried out and rebuilt. And then all we need is this up over here. It is past time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get this area taken care of. And that should be our flooding dealt with at that point. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.